All right, looking at tonight's homework, it should be pretty simple. So hopefully you're just logging in for some clarification. Starting with the first one, similar to last night's homework, we have are the following expressions equivalent? Equivalent again means if they are equal. So again, we got to do some distributive property here. We got to do the 3 times the 4x, which 3 times 4 is 12. You bring the x with you, so you should have 12x. And then we got to do the 3 times the 2. We'll keep the sign the same. 3 times 2 is 6. We'll bring down the 8. Looking at this, we have negative 6 plus 8. So again, you have positive 8 is greater than negative 6. So you would have 2 left over. So resulting from this, we should have 12x plus 2. Same thing here, distributive property, 2 times 6x and 2 times 1. 2 times 6 is 12. Bring your x with you. And then 2 times 1 is 2. So we have that 2. So looking at both, lining them up, you should see that they are equivalent. Some of you asked in class, what does x mean? So in the following 674, we didn't give you a value of x, so it just stays x. Now down here, since we're evaluating the expressions, we tell you what the values of r, which is 3, and h is in 5. So again, we just plug them in, just like we would do our order of operations. We have 6 times h, so h is 5, minus 4. Again, we got to solve 6 times 5 before we subtract. If you subtracted 5 minus 4, you would have got an answer of 6. Um, Notice you got to follow your order of operations. 6 times 5 is 30. 30 minus 4 is 26. A big difference between 26 and 6. Looking at B, you have 8r plus h. So we'll take that 8 times r, which is 8 times 3, and then we'll add it to the 5. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 5 is 29. Again, follow your order of operations. If you did 5 plus 3, you would have got 8. 8 times 8 is 64. Big difference. And now you have r squared, which is 3 squared. Evaluate 3 squared to get 3 times 3, which is 9. Moving down, make sure you follow the directions. It says complete these fractions to make them close to 0. So we don't want to make them 0. So I know if I had 1/16, that's pretty close to 0. You're going to get like, I think like maybe like, I think it's 0.00675 maybe. So like 6%, close enough to 0. Um, 10, since 10's on the bottom, I think the closest thing I can get would be 1. Instead of 4 on top, I'm just going to put like 100. That should work, gives you 4. And then 10 on the top, I can even do it out of like 1,000. Any number that's close to 0. Can't really screw that one up. The next one, make them close to a half. So I know half of 15 is 7.5. So I'm just going to put 7. Half of 9 is 4.5. I'll put 4. Um, I know 4 over 8 would give me a half. It said close to a half. So I could still make that like a 9. And then I got 10. I know 20 is half. So I can put like 19. Last one, it needs to be greater than 1, but less than 2. So in order to make this greater than 1, I could put a 4, which would give me 1.5. For 10 here, I could, if I put a 5, it would make it 2. And if I put a 4, it would make it more than 2. So I'll just put like a 9. And I get 1 and 1/9. For here, 6, if I just put let's go, a 7. And I get that 1 and 1/6. And here I'll just do 4, which would give me that 1 and 1/3. Going to the back, make sure you include your sketches. So we have how many fifths are in a hole. If this rectangle represents my hole and I'm broken up into fifths, I can circle 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that is 5/5 in one whole. How many thirds are in 2 1/3? Um, so I could have 1, 2, break them into thirds, and then I can have my 1/3 here. So how many thirds? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 thirds. And then how many 2/5 are in 4? So again, I'm just going to draw the 4, break them up into fifths, similar to the first one. Circle in pairs of 2. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, 6, 7. I'll take the top and the bottom here for 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 groups of 2/5 and 4. Last question. I'll just show you how to do the first two, and you can figure it out the rest. It's pretty simple. We're writing a fraction and a percent for representing $1. So if I had a quarter, I know I have 25 cents, right, out of my 100 to get the dollar, or I can just say 1/4, whichever one you choose. And then that percent, 25 out of the 100 would be 25%, and so on. Again, 9 dimes. I'll skip to the bottom. I'd have 9/10 of a dollar and 90%. So if you can fill in the rest, B, C, D, E, pretty self-explanatory, and you'll be done with your homework. Have a good night, and thanks for tuning in for help if you needed it.